Hey everyone, it's Lizzie and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my March 2021 budget overview for you guys to get some inspiration and see how you can be at a zero-based budget. So I am a firm believer of the paycheck budget, or each time you get paid, whether you have a fixed income and you get paid, every week, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, or if you are like us, where you now have a variable income, you don't know what the exact dollar amount that you're going to be paid for the month, but you want to create a budget. And, this is probably the easiest way to do this. So as I mentioned, we are on a variable income. So my husband, he has his business, and we just don't know based on the job, like what his actual take-home pay is going to be. So what we've decided is to create for him a salary, so a fixed salary, and that is what we will budget based on. His salary that we are budgeting out is $5,000, and that is way more than enough. We will be comfortable. We'll be able to reach our goals of, if you want to know, our goal is to save a down payment for a house. Right now, that's kind of on a pause. I will share an up-to-date video in the future regarding where we stand and what our next steps are, but for right now we just have to focus on some other things. So we have budgeted for him $5,000, and then for me, for this month, what I will actually be receiving, we're just basing it a low ball, and that is $1,000. More is to come on the major change that is going to happen with us when it comes to our finances and everything. So make sure you have your notification bell on and you're subscribed. That way you won't miss out on that video, because I do plan on giving you guys an update of what has changed. A lot of things have changed. And this miscellaneous, we get $180 because we are on a family plan for phones, and my parents and my sister are on that, so they just give us the funds when it comes to the phone bill. So that's what the 180 is. So this gives us a total income of $61.80. What is so important, at least what's been super helpful for us when it comes to our finances, is breaking things down by percentages. Now, this is not a set in stone thing where you have to spend XYZ on these particular categories. When I first started budgeting, I did not know how much to assign for groceries, how much to assign for different things. So random spending. I didn't know, and I would just put a random dollar amount because I didn't have like a guideline, I guess. And if you're anything like me, you kind of need a little bit of a structure or a goal in mind of, okay, I don't want to spend more than this, and have that be your goal. And that is what the percentage formula is for me. Now, like I said, I don't have this written in stone where this is exactly how much money we are going to spend if it's a lot of money. So we try our best to live within a 70% of what our income is. So our income in this case is the $61.80, which includes what my parents give because that's a part of our expenses. However, the goal amount is technically, it's not the total income because we don't include the 180 as a part of our income, what we've worked for. So for tithe, we're not tithing off of the 180, we would tithe off of the 6,000 because that's how much we've earned, we've worked for, and that is what we tithe, and that is what we would want to save for. Just keep that in mind. The percentage formula is just a guideline for you to reference back and to see if, one, you are to cut back on certain spending. So there are certain things where if you are working towards paying off debt, maybe cut out your cable, or if you have different subscriptions. This is a great way for you to reference back to and to see where you can possibly save to be within a certain percentage that you want to live off of from your income. So for us right now, we would love to see about living off of 70% of what our income is. That way we can tithe 10% and make a goal for the rest of that fund. So for 70% of the 6180, let me actually walk you through the process. So you take the 6180 and then you're gonna multiply it, and it says it right here, the steps. You're gonna multiply it by the percentage. So the percentage in this case is 70%, which is 0.7. So 4326 is what the expenses goal is for us to live off of. And then we take what our total income earned, not including the miscellaneous, so it's 6,000, and you could do this in your head, but just in case, 6,000, you multiply it by 10%, it gives you 600. Now for the tithe amount, we are wanting to include an additional 5%. Now that 5% is going to an offering. So it will either be like a love offering, or if we see like we want to bless someone, we would just want to give a little bit above what the tithe amount is. Now the tithe is going to our church. It's just a belief that we have. So $600 is going for tithe, and then the extra 5%, it gives us $300. So that's kind of how we factored in going above and giving more, because we love to give, and honestly, when you give, you receive so much more in return. Let me know any stories that you guys might have of you blessing someone or you receiving a blessing from someone and how that impacted your life. Because truly I believe that if we as a community, we give back to our community and we make a difference in this world, our world will be so much better than where we are right now. So I'd love to hear your stories. Go ahead and fill it in the comments right now. If you can think of something that you have done, if it's like, I've heard stories of you're in the Dunkin' Donut line and you want to pay for the person that is behind you, their bill, and it just keeps going that way. That I love those stories. So let me know yours in the comments. So now once you do that, you are going to take your income, subtract your giving, and then that's when you break down for your expenses. Now as you see, you probably see it big and bold, you see this highlight line. So when we create our budget, we create our March budget before the month begins. That is super key. So at this point in time, I know I'm sharing this kind of late, but at this point in time, we are now planning for our April budget, and I will be sharing that with you in the upcoming weeks. But you should plan ahead for the following month. That way you can set yourself up for success. So what we budgeted out for our water bill was $80. We had not received our water bill yet. Usually we receive it around this time when I'm filming it. It is currently the 11th or the 12th, sorry. And we had just received our actual water bill just a couple days ago. So it's usually right in the beginning of the month when we receive the actual bill. And so our actual bill came out to be $65.62. We were well under, and that's why I highlighted in green, because green for me, it just means that I saved. So I have more money in my pocket. That's what the green stands for. And the electric bill, we always get that like before the month begins. So we already knew that that was the exact amount, which was $61.85. But anyways, what you do, you obviously will know how much your fixed expenses are. You write in those numbers, you write in a guesstimate of what your variable spending is, which is like your gas. We have toll roads, so that's not really a variable spending, but sometimes we do and like plan travels, so sometimes that changes. But for the fixed dollar amount, the total for this comes to $2501.86. And now this is where you want to reference back to that key, which is the percentage formula. As we mentioned, it was 43.26 for us to be within that 70% goal of living off of that dollar amount. So we have already allocated 43.26 minus 2501.86 for expenses. This is anything that's leaving your bank account, anything leaving your cash envelopes. This is where I love utilizing this percentage formula because it gives me a guideline. Now we still have $2,778.14 to budget out for. So we still have some variable spending to apply to specific categories. So we do eat out. So this is for eating out, groceries, home, allowances, so spending for my husband and myself. Then my husband also has a personal trainer. That's a fixed dollar amount, but I just included it here. And we pay him $300. Now I did write in medical and unbudgeted because when the end of the month comes, sometimes things happen and we have to like reallocate some of our funds to the unbudgeted category, and then I will plug in the actual spending for that. And then we also have a health savings account that there's really not a budget for, but we do have funds in that bank account, so that's where we plug in those numbers as well. So if we look at what we still have remaining to break down to live within that 70% rule, we've only budgeted out $1,380. So I could either see if I wanted to add more to these particular categories, which we might have to make adjustments, but that's what the beauty of a budget is. You can make adjustments as the month goes on, and I love doing this using the app called EveryDollar, which is right here, and I can literally like plug in and change out some of the numbers if this focuses. Oh goodness. So I can literally plug in and change the numbers as the month goes by. So that's just something that we do as the month goes on. But anyways, we're just gonna go ahead and just keep the budget as is. Plan for the worst, hope for the best. I think that we have done very well when it comes to certain things. Now, our eating out we put as $200 and allowances we put as $400. Now, our allowance, we do what we wish. So if we wanted to eat out with those funds, then we'll go ahead and we'll do that. That's kind of like just our spending account that we can do anything that we want. So just keep that in mind. But we budgeted out $1,380 and we still have $444 left to stay within that 70%. So this means that we are actually able to live off of less than 70%. Again, you can do whatever you want when it comes to your budget. This has just been super helpful for me, so I know to stay within a certain parameter and have that guideline. So let me know if you guys have tried the percentage formula. How has it worked for you? I'd love to hear. So now that I know that we have been below that 70%, we can now focus on our goals. And that is the next part of the budget percentage formula, is the goal. So we have sinking funds. Now, sinking funds, these are categories that you want to set a specific dollar amount for as time goes on. And so we have only a few here. So we have our anniversary, maintenance for a car, Christmas for this year. So you should start planning for Christmas if you haven't already. A little bit goes a long way. So if you can only save $5 or $10, just put it aside and have it start to grow. That way you're not overwhelmed when it comes to Christmas time. So start planning now. Just a friendly reminder in case you haven't started saving for Christmas. This is definitely something I highly recommend you start now. That is still the beginning of the year. You still have so much time. Do it. Trust me, you won't regret it. And then we have gifts is for any like random birthday or anything that we want to give to somebody. We just have a specific account for that. Health, this is for any vitamins or things that we have to purchase for ourselves. And then we have pet and vacation. So we're not planning a vacation anytime soon, but we definitely would love to maybe go on like a weekend getaway. Let me know if you guys are just so desperate to get away, because let's face it, we've all been stuck at home for way too long. But where would you want to go on a vacation now? I want to go to Puerto Rico so bad. So anyways, we've allocated $346 for sinking funds. We still have $1,052 to budget out for so that we can be at a zero-based budget. And this is additional goals of ours. So we are saving a majority of our funds for emergency because we want to bulk up that emergency fund and just have more of a security. My husband's retirement and our home fund. So that's why I mentioned that we've kind of put the home deposit kind of on a back burner. It's not completely stopped. We've just temporarily like paused being so focused on that, and that is okay. You can adjust your goal to make it suit you at a specific point and or season in life. That is the beauty of a budget. You can move numbers, you can adjust pertaining to where you are in life. So that's why one particular method is not right for every person. You can pick and choose different budgeting techniques and methods that work for you. Right for every person, you can pick and choose different budgeting techniques and methods that work for you. But that is everything for today's video. Let me know any comments or video suggestions that you have in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you and share things that you actually want to know. I have a few fun things planned for upcoming videos, so make sure again that you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell. That way you can be notified each and every time I upload, because YouTube is kind of acting a little weird where some people aren't able to get notified because they didn't hit the notification. So make sure you do that. That way you're alerted when I post a new video. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps me out so much, and I will catch you guys in a brand new video. Bye guys!